What's going on, guys? It's Raj, part 2, bringing you a brand new video. In today's video, this is probably the most anticipated video on my channel. I'm actually pretty nervous to make this video just because if I get anything wrong in this video, I could be in a bit of trouble and I don't want to get in any trouble. So I'm just going to be talking about, well, this is going to be the exposed video, if you will, and I'm just going to be talking about exactly what happened with the Skerge house, the full story, all the drama, everything, putting it all out there. This is part 1. I don't even know if part 2 is going to come out. If it does, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Look out for part 2, or if it doesn't come out, look out for any of my new videos. Let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So I was contracted in to Skerge Esports. It was me, Pat, Tyler, Paul, and Shane. And then the CEO of Skerge Esports is Joe. Shane is Joe's son. So already you can imagine that there's some kind of complications there, which there are. If you go and look at Nevada's LLCs and you look up Skerge Esports, you will actually see that Shane and Joe are two managing officers of the LLC, which was pretty surprising. I looked this up before I even got contracted in, way before really anything. Why? Like, why would you have a player as a managing officer on the team that he's on? You know, a player should not be anywhere above any other player. All the players are equal. So pretty much what he can do is drop anybody from the team whenever he wants, you know, as long as the contract allows him to do that. And that's wrong. That should not be like that at all. I know that when you start an LLC, you have to have more than one person to start it. I guess in this case there was 2 or more to start the LLC, but you know, he could have picked anybody else close to him, but he picked his son that's on the team. Just already, it goes to show how inexperienced these people really are, how much they don't know about the scene, how much they don't, maybe they don't really care, somewhere along those lines. Let's get right into the story. So me, Pat, and Tyler, we were close. You know, even before this team, before these other players, before Shane and Paul, we were close. We knew we wanted to team together somewhere in the future. We've always had that in mind. We always wanted to be a team of 3, stick together. That went really sideways really quick. We got contracted in, we moved to the team house in Henderson, Nevada, and me and Tyler are from northeastern Ohio. Pat's from Indiana. We drove all the way to the team house. It took 33 hours. We didn't stop at a hotel. We drove straight through. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't too bad. You know, we were exhausted, hungry. It was really unhealthy. We ate candy, you know, a lot, fast food, beef jerky, just shit. You know, it was a really unhealthy trip to say the least, and I don't think you can really go about that any other way. You can't stop and work out. You can't stop and make yourself a healthy meal, you know. That was that. So we were actually there for a week and a half, and we got dropped, and me and Tyler got dropped, and we drove all the way back again. So I'm going to be talking about why that happened and just everything about that. So we first got there, we had dinner as a team of 5 with Joe, the CEO. At the table, Joe told us that the operation was going to end at the end of December unless we could get 80,000 YouTube subscribers and brought in a sponsorship from that. Immediately after he told us that, we knew that was impossible. It's totally impossible. He was counting on us as the players to come up with content, to come up with high quality, good content for the YouTube channel, to get 80,000 subscribers. And again, another point, like, that just goes to show how inexperienced these people are, how much they don't know about the scene. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you're gonna pick up players and have them contracted in, you really have to know what you're getting yourself into, and they just didn't know at all. After he told us we had to get 80,000 subscribers, we were like, yeah, that's not happening. This thing is gonna be over at the end of December. And we genuinely believe that. The next day, Pat came to me when we were at the gym, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna leave after December. We're gonna look for other options. We're just gonna try and do the best that we can up until Vegas and after Vegas, and then we're gonna look for other options. We're gonna look for 2 other players and get under a different organization after that. I was like, well, you know, yeah, that sounds like the best option. If this is gonna end after December, that's what we're gonna want to do. So we had an agreement there. I just wanted to note that Pat is the one that brought that up. I don't have that mindset. You know, even though that's probably what would have happened anyways, I still just wanted us to be a strong unit, a strong team, just working as hard as possible in that amount of time. Black Ops 4 finally came out. Tyler was playing the most. He played so much. Pubs all the time. He got to like first prestige in the first like couple of days or something like that. You know, he was grinding. We were all playing wagers wagers, but he was the one that was playing the most Call of Duty. I was playing a lot of Call of Duty too, but I was also working on content. So I actually took it upon myself to make the 3rd episode of the newest Skerge video, which isn't gonna come out because I'm in it and Tyler's in it. The team dynamic is different now, but I took it upon myself to make that 3rd episode of the documentary series, which isn't even a part of my job description. I'm a Call of Duty player. I'm not a content creator, and that's what they really wanted. They really wanted us to be making content and stuff like that, which I was fine with because I wanted to make content, but what if other people didn't want to make content? You know what I mean? Speaking for pretty much everybody except for me, there was no other content besides what I was making. I can't think of any, you know, no vlogs. I uploaded a vlog, I uploaded a house tour. No vlogs, no gameplay uploads on YouTube. I don't know, Paul might have been streaming, I'm not too sure, but I was the main person that was making content. I just don't really understand the mindset in letting the players do the content. Like, to get 80,000 subscribers, you need to have like a professional videography team, you know, editors, cameramen, the whole 9 yards. You can't just half-ass it and say, okay, you have to play Call of Duty 12 hours a day, and then you have to make this documentary series and get 80,000 subscribers. It's not gonna work. Like, there's just no way in hell that's ever gonna work. But I had a lot of video ideas. I was optimistic and really tried to give ideas and stuff like that. Something to note about the documentary series is Shane and his dad wanted it to be like a reality TV show, a lot of fake things that went on in there, and I simply did not want that at all. You don't fake a documentary series. The documentary series is about telling a story of what is happening in this team house. It's not a reality TV show. That's not interesting. People don't want to see that. People want to see the lifestyle of the players. We just had like a weird disagreement there. I knew I wasn't going to be faking anything. They wanted me to like fake this phone call. It was just stupid. My monitors just shut off. That was really weird. Getting further into it, we were playing Black Ops 4 and we were playing wagers, and Paul was easily the worst player on the team. So he had a lot of work to do. We would criticize him a lot. You know, he'd make really bad plays a lot, and you know, we would tell him like, hey, you can't push this, you can't push that. Next time, come here with me. Every single time we would criticize him, he would argue. All the time, no matter what. He'd get pissed, argue, make up excuses. He'd be like this and that, blah blah, whatever, and we were just like, no, Paul. And we'd always get frustrated with him, be like, Paul, listen, you just gotta stop talking and you just have to agree. And he still wouldn't agree, whatever. He just didn't want to work together as a team. That's just his personality. It's gonna go on forever. He's never gonna change. Maybe he could change. I'm optimistic. Hopefully. You gotta work together as a team. He just simply did not want to do that. We're gonna get into why that's important. He would always be very insecure about, he thought that we were talking shit behind his back. He thought that me, Pat, and Tyler were always talking behind his back, talking shit and making, well, I was gonna say making jokes, which we were making jokes about him, but it wasn't in a mean way. It wasn't in a malicious way. You can go back and watch my vlogs and you can see the jokes that I made with him. And these aren't jokes that I just targeted him for. You know, I made jokes with everybody, and so did Tyler, so did Pat. I don't even remember Shane, but he was really insecure about that. He thought we were talking shit, whatever. We would make jokes. A lot of them would stem off from Pat. Something that he would do was every time Paul would say something, Pat would like turn over and look at me and Tyler and make this weird face. You know, we thought it was funny. It was all right. You know, it's just a joke. It's not a big deal. Paul made it a big deal, and we're gonna get into that. And eventually, Paul actually went to Joe and was like, yeah, they're talking shit, this isn't going well, I'm not really happy with how the team's going, and you know, whatever that conversation was, it was something like that. Joe took it upon himself to talk to us all individually, which, you know, wasn't a bad idea. It was a little weird, to be honest. We weren't really expecting it, and me personally, I was so like shocked at what was going on. I had no idea what was happening. So he talked to Paul first, obviously, because he was having all the issues. He talked to Paul and Pat at the same time, and Pat basically lied so much about me and Tyler. He was basically confirmed to Joe that there was a divide between the team. It was always me and Tyler versus everybody, and we would always try and push Paul's buttons, and we were always talking shit behind Paul's back, which wasn't the case at all. We never talked shit behind Paul's back. If some kind of gameplay thing came up, like if it was in the conversation, we were like, yeah, we would talk about everybody, you know. It wasn't just Paul. It could be Shane, it could be Pat, it could be me, and it would just come in the conversation like, yeah, this happened in the gameplay, and you know, if it was just me and Pat together, you know, if it comes up in the conversation, we talk about it. That's the most extent that talking behind someone's back was about, which isn't a bad thing. We talk about our gameplay, you know. That was that. Shane actually talked behind Paul's back more than anybody else. I remember I was sitting at the kitchen table eating breakfast or something, and Shane came and sat down and he was chilling. I think he was eating breakfast too. I can't really remember, but we were talking and Shane was just talking about Paul like the whole time, and I was like a little uneasy. Like I didn't want to really talk about it because Paul wasn't there. The things that he was talking about, it didn't really seem right. Like he was just going in on how Paul was acting and stuff like that, and I was just like, okay, yeah, sure, you know, just easing my way out of this conversation because I don't talk behind people's backs. It's stupid. Like there's no point. It's so childish. So that's like the extent of talking behind somebody's back that happened, and it was with Shane. It wasn't with Pat. It wasn't with Tyler, but Pat blamed me and Tyler for all that. He lied and said that we were doing all that stuff, that we were talking shit, everything I already told you guys. Then Joe talked to me next. I was a little nervous, not gonna lie. I was confused at what was happening, and he was like, yeah, he tried to intimidate me by swearing and stuff like that. Just so immature. Like, you know, a CEO of an organization talking to their players like this, not treating them with the utmost respect. You know, I've been at shittier jobs where I've got more respect than this. I was so surprised at what was going on. So he was talking to me, swore a couple times, and it was like, yeah, you don't take this fucking serious and shit like that. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't take this serious? You know, when I was there, I didn't have time to just chill and call my dad or chill and go on Instagram. I was always doing something, whether it was content, whether it was live streaming, playing the game, everything, planning promotional things for my own content. I live streamed on the Skerge channel day one that Black Ops 4 came out, which I wanted to do on my channel, but I was like, nah, it's all right, you know, I'll do it on their channel because that's, you know, what I needed to do. And I was always working, so I don't know what that really means, me not taking it serious. And he said the exact same thing to Tyler when Tyler played the most Call of Duty while we were at the house. Just a whole bunch of shit, just making up, just out of thin air, you know? Like, and he was saying that to me, that I push Paul's buttons, I get mad at him. Meanwhile, Paul is the one having all the issues with all the other players, arguing, not getting along, not trying to work together as a team. I'm the one that gets blamed for all this. The main concern is really, in my opinion, to think about where the problems are stemming from. The bad plays, the not being able to take criticism, that has to be worked out. You can't focus on what happens after that, you know, get to the source, really. I tried to tell him, I was like, that's not what's happening. I'm not talking shit behind anybody's back. I'm not pushing any buttons. He brought up us trying to leave the team going to leave the team after December, and I told him, I was like, I'm gonna choose the best option for myself if I leave tomorrow, or if I leave at the end of December, or in a month from now. Whatever the best option is for me, I'm gonna take, and I feel like that should be respected. You know, I would 100% respect any decision to better oneself, I guess is the right English. You can't ever knock that. You know, if somebody's making a decision for themselves to better themselves, you just have to respect that. You can't get upset, even if it's your own team. I'm sorry, but that's just the way that it is. I got criticized for not trying to be Paul's best friend. Paul isn't the type of person that I normally hang out with, but he was on the team, so of course I'm gonna be friendly with him. I'm gonna work together with him, even if we do get frustrated. That's kind of what happens on a team. You get frustrated with each other, and that's gonna happen all the time. Teammates are gonna get pissed at each other. It's just gonna happen. Playing competitive esports is stressful all the time, no matter what. So I got criticized for not trying to be Paul's best friend when I treated him with respect. You know, Tyler let me drive his car, so I'd offer to take Paul places. We went to Walmart to pick up some stuff for him. Always invite him to places. You know, I'd be like, Paul, you want to come to the gym? You know, he wasn't really into the gym. I offered to help him with nutritional things to save money. I noticed that he would always eat out, so would Shane, and I offered to, you know, help them. You know, maybe Paul said he didn't know how to cook. I told him I'd help him if he wanted to learn. I'm there for my teammates. You know, I don't fuck around. And yeah, I am a little bit upset making this video because it's not a video I should be making. We got dropped a week and a half later. A week and a half after we got there. We had to drive all the way back 33 hours, and it was nighttime. You know, Joe didn't even pay for our travel back. He just wanted us out. And we could have stayed there. We could have stayed there for 30 days and got evicted, but you know, fuck that. You know, like, what the hell? But you know, we could have stayed there for the night, but the atmosphere there was so negative, and it just was not a good situation. So we left at 10:30 p.m. and drove all the way back home and got home at like 11 a.m. 2 days later or something like that. I also got criticized for when I go to bed. Okay, let me explain this. Paul was in the same room with me, and I got criticized for when I go to bed, I just go to sleep and I don't talk to Paul. Like what, dude? You're gonna criticize me for when I get in my bed, I go to sleep and I don't talk to somebody? I don't really understand that. You know, if somebody wants to talk to me, they can always have a conversation with me, and yeah, I'll have a conversation back. I don't understand the mindset of that criticism, to be honest. That was that. Again, I tried to tell him, like, yeah, this is not what's happening. I got called a liar. They were like, you're lying. He said, you're either lying or you're blind. That's what Shane told me. Just, my monitor's just turned off again. Just total disrespect. They didn't believe me. At any other job, if I told them, you know, my truth of what happened, they would absolutely try and work with me and really figure out the problem, but they were just like, no, you're dropped. It's sad because they dropped the two best players on the team, me and Tyler, for what, really? Somebody that argues, somebody that whines. You know, I'm sorry, but that's exactly what was happening. That's the full story, the full truth, and I don't think I have anything else to say about that. So part 2, hopefully coming out, gonna be talking about the contract and the legal issues and stuff like that. But for now, that's gonna be the video. So if you liked it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.